Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we are going to talk about Evans automatic petrol lighters and the designations for the mechanisms that spark them. I have made several repair videos for Evans lighters in the past. I've also had several show and tell or condition report type videos for Evans lighters.
Does look like
I received a message this week from a fellow eBay user who informed me that one of the Evans mechanisms that I had been identifying as a trigger light was in fact a Spitfire. That confused me because I knew that Evans made a model called the Spitfire, or at least I thought I knew that. We'll get into that a little later. Anyway, he sent me a link to the Toledo Bend VCL site, the Evans page, where right there at the top, I've looked at that graphic several times. From the profile of the mechanism, it shows the roller bearing, it shows the trigger light, and then side by side it shows the clipper and what looked to me like another trigger light mechanism, the hidden rivet covered fulcrum design that is so common in the later Evans automatic lighters. In that Toledo Bend graphic, they kind of bunched the clipper, which is a different semi-automatic mechanism, and the Spitfire mechanism all into one. I think that was where part of my confusion lay. But anyway, after looking at that graphic for a few minutes, I wish I could reproduce that here, but I don't have permission to do so. You can find a link on the dependableflame.com site, helpful lighter related links. I have links to several of the other vintage cigarette lighter collection or documentarian or sites where they're selling lighters. It kind of runs the gamut. There are those who say, don't you dare ask me about buying one of these. None of these are for sale. And then there are others where everything's for sale. So there are collectors, there are dealers, there are mixtures of both. But most of those that I have listed there on that helpful lighter related links page of my site are of the documentarian or collector. I don't have any other pages up there where you can go to buy lighters, I don't believe, at least on that page. I may have links to those elsewhere, but not on that particular page of my site. Getting back to the Evans automatic lighter mechanisms and the nomenclature by which they should be described, the first was the roller bearing. I have no reference point for this because I've never handled one of these. I have had several of the trigger light, which was the next in line and produced up until the time that they moved to the Spitfire mechanism. But the confusion in the different names of the mechanisms not only lay in that graphic being confusing, but also in the fact that Evans did not mark their lighters very well. I am starting to wonder now that I have seen literature. I'll go ahead and spoil this for you now. If you've read the article over on the site, then you know that already anyway. But after going and looking on some other sites, I finally found an ad on the Toledo Bend VCL advertising tab from 1941 for Evans automatic lighters, and it clearly identifies them as Spitfire. Nowhere on there does it refer to them as trigger light, nor does it refer to a Spitfire model, at least on the one that I saw. I haven't done an exhaustive search or anything like that. My main purpose in this video is to bring to light the fact and to clear the air and to correct what the fellow eBay user was pointing out, was that the Spitfire, I believe, banner model that I had just listed was not a Triggerlite, but indeed a Spitfire, as I now know to call it. So I corrected that listing, and I also had another listing up of an Evans banner with a reptile or some other kind of leather. I think it's faux leather, but a faux reptile skin or some other kind of faux leather Evans banner that has the Spitfire model atop it. So any of these, I would suppose, would be Spitfires after 1941 or so. I'm not sure how long the changeover took. Further confusing, the fact is that the parts are interchangeable amongst all of these lighters, at least according to the 1954 lighter repair manual. It does say that there are some parts, I believe, that has something to do with the fuel tank on the early, what it refers to as old style Triggerlite, what the Toledo Bend page referred to as the roller bearing mechanism. So I can't attest to the roller bearing. I can tell you I have owned several of the Triggerlite. When I went back and looked, the repair videos had all been identified correctly. I don't believe I had called anything a Triggerlite that wasn't, and the ones that were actually Spitfires I had simply referred to as Evans automatic lighters. But the show and tell videos and the eBay listings for the individual videos, I definitely had some corrections to make, as I noted earlier. I think I have a handle on it now. We'll find out when I come across a roller bearing whether or not I can tell the difference between it and a Triggerlite. But the Triggerlite, even though those parts will interchange, the fulcrum screws, the fulcrum rivets, the ratchet arms, snuffers, thumb levers, springs, all of those parts are interchangeable between the Triggerlite and the Spitfire mechanisms. So while there may be a difference in name, I'm not sure how much difference there really was in function, in durability, quality, or in the product and the spark that was being put out there. I also want to thank that eBay user. That kind of feedback is greatly appreciated and valued. I just look at it with the mindset of I want to get it right, to be educated and to know the proper terms and what each of these different mechanisms are called is an important thing if you're going to identify those and offer them for sale to those who collect them. Because I guarantee you, they know the names of the mechanisms, and if I'm not describing it right, then I may be hindering my ability to sell it for what I want to get out of it and get it in front of the right eyes who need to see it. So please, if you see anything in any of my eBay listings or YouTube videos, if I'm using the wrong term, I'm not asking for a troll. I'm not asking for somebody just to hammer me with everything I'm doing wrong, but a useful exchange of information is what we're offering here. So please, let me know if there are corrections that you see I need to make. If I am using the wrong term, you can always leave a comment down below the video. You can go over and comment on our Facebook page, leave a direct message on the Facebook page, or you can go on the About tab on YouTube. There are several ways to contact us there, and one of them is the Contact Us page at dependableflame.com, where you will have a link to all of our social media profiles, email, phone number, mailing address, any way that you need to get a hold of us. You can find it there at the Contact Us page at dependableflame.com. So to recap, what we have learned here today is the Evans automatic lighter mechanisms. They had others, the Esquire, the Clipper, some flip top models, but we're talking about the main Evans, not the lift arm, the ones that everybody knows about, the roller bearing, the trigger light, and the new to me Spitfire. Until next time.